Hello everyone, welcome back to day 3 of the 7 days 7 projects challenge, and today we're going to be creating a newsletter section. So to get started, all I have is an empty folder called, okay, not an empty folder really, but a folder called newsletter design with an empty index.html and an empty style.css. So to get started, I'm just going to generate a boilerplate using emmet and exclamation enter like that. Let me close the sidebar, and I'm just going to say newsletter, oh my god, newsletter section like that. And I'm going to link my style sheet called style css. I've forgotten how to type apparently. Then inside the body, I'm going to create a div with a class of container, and inside that div I'm going to create an h1 saying let me make this an h2 saying newsletter design like that, design. Okay, inside this div with a class of container, I'm going to create a form with a class of form. Let me call it that, with no action. And I'm going to say create an input with a type of email like that, with a name of email and an ID of email, with placeholder text saying enter your email. And then I'm going to say required attribute, just some HTML validation. Then I'm going to create a button with a type of submit, and I'm going to say subscribe. And we're just going to save that. Let me just place a small at the bottom saying no spam mail, you can unsubscribe at any time like that. Let me open that with live server so we can see it and we can begin to style it. So I'm going to go to my style css like that, and I'm going to say let me just reset everything, margin 0, padding 0, box sizing border box. And I'm going to say for the body I want a font family of what's it called, Arial like that. And then I'm going to say for the container, let me just display flex, align item center, and justify content to the center. Add a minimum height of 100 viewport heights so it goes to the center like that. And then I'm going to say flex direction to column like that. And then I'm going to go inside my container and I'm going to target my form and I'm going to target my input. And then I'm also going to go once again inside my container, target the form and target the button, so that they're going to have most likely the same styles, so I don't want to do the same thing twice. So I'm going to say first of all display blocks so that they go on different lines like that. I'm going to set a width of 70 viewport widths like that, and I'm going to set a padding of 12 pixels. Set a margin to separate them of 5 pixels on the top and bottom and 0 on the left and right. Set a border of 2 pixels solid and blue. Set a border radius of 5 pixels like that. And then what's missing? I think that will be it for that, but I want to style the button a little bit extra. Oh, I remembered, I forgot font family of inherit like that. And I'm going to say the color to blue as well. And then I want to target this placeholder because you can see the color here is blue but the placeholder is still gray. So you can do that easily by just going to the input like that and placing a double colon and saying placeholder. This will target the placeholder text, and I'm just going to set the color to blue, and then I'm going to say letter spacing of 2 pixels. Let me bring this above actually like that, and that works very nice, very nice. Then I'm going to go inside my button. Inside my button I want to style the button a little bit further, so I'm going to say font weight of 700. Actually I want this for everything, so I'm just going to bring it above. And then I'm going to say text transform to uppercase like that. Let me see how that looks. And then I'm going to say background color of blue as well, and then you can set the text color to white like so. okay. And then you can target the hover state for the button and do that by saying colon hover. And then we're going to say I want the background color to be transparent like that, and I'm going to set a transition of 0.2 seconds for everything like that. And then of course I'm going to set this color to blue, and then I'm going to set a cursor of pointer for that like that, and it's looking nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. Let me target this H2 so that I can space it out a bit, and it's inside my container and it's called an H2 container. H2 actually, is it, or is it's inside the form? Okay, it's inside the container like that. And I'm going to say font size of 30 pixels and letter spacing of 1 pixel like that. And I'm going to say margin on the bottom of I had 5 pixels on the top, right? So I'm going to say 15 pixels so that it adds up to 20 like so. Okay, what else is there to do? Okay, let me add some color to this form, a background color. Let me see if it will match. I'm going to say for the container, for the form class, let me add a background color of F1, a very light gray. I don't know whether you can see it, but it's actually there. And I'm going to say add a padding of 20 pixels so that it's a bit more accented, as you can see. And then just add a border radius of 5 pixels to make it up just a bit smooth like that. Okay, so we can begin to scale this up to add some media queries, and I'm going to add the first media query for 768 pixels so that these are placed side by side. And you can say that at media min width of 768 pixels, then I want the container, if you remember I displayed it as flex and flex direction column right here. So what I'm going to do is just copy this and change the column to row, change this to row like that, and you can see this happens. Okay, and the reason why you can see the button is a bit draggy is because of the transition. It's because of the transition, in case you're wondering. Okay, one thing that I want to do is actually change the width at this point, so I can go inside my container class, inside my form, and inside the input. And then I want as well the container, and I want the form, and I want the button like that, and I want, oops, what's happening? And I want the width to be 50 viewport widths. Let's see how that looks. Okay, yeah, I think this looks nice. This looks pretty nice. And actually, let me add some margin between the form and this H2 so that they separate out just a bit better. And I can go inside the container like this, and I can take the H2 and I can say margin on the top and bottom of 0 so that it resets the 30 pixel, the 15 pixels margin that it has on the bottom. And then I can say 20 pixels on the left and right to add some margin right there, as you can see. And then let me increase actually this font size, and I'm going to say, actually for this font size I'm going to increase at a greater width. So I'm going to say a medium min width of 1200 pixels. Then I'm going to say for the container, the H2, I want the font, oops, I want the font size to 46 pixels like that. Actually, let me even change this text. Let me change this text, and I'm going to say subscribe to our newsletter like that. That looks much more manageable. It looks much more manageable, much better. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so that will be it really for this video. As you can see, it has some HTML validation. Let me reduce this, the widths of these two at a minimum width of 1200 pixels. I'm just going to reduce this to 30 viewport widths like that, and that looks much better, as you can see. Okay, so that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, I'm missing something right there. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you tomorrow with day 4 of the 7 days 7 projects challenge.